Well, perhaps it's a sign of the times. Supporters of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert took part in what were We're with Colbert rally over the weekend. Sounds big, right? All over the internet? Well, not so much. It was an absolute flop, actually. Only 20 people showed up to support the left-leaning late-night host. CBS says the decision to end Colbert's show was based on financial factors, but it begs the question, have liberal late-night shows finally reached their tipping point? Now, just a few weeks ago, former host of The Tonight Show, Jay Leno, gave his thoughts on the partisan playbook used by these late-night comics, and he argues it's what's getting them all in trouble.
To me, I like to think that people come to a comedy show to kind of get away from the things, you know, the pressures of life, wherever it might be. And I love political humor, don't get me wrong, but it's just what happens is people wind up cozying too much to one side or the other. I mean, I like to bring people into the big picture. I don't understand why you would alienate one particular group, you know, or just don't do it at all. I'm not saying you have to throw your support or whatever, but just do what's funny.
What do you think?
I just think that's the biggest audience Colbert's had for ages. 20 people. Oh. Absolutely huge. I think they might review their decision to cancel him. I've never read so much or heard so much guff about a reason for a guy getting cancelled. His ratings were tanking. He was costing them $40 million a year. He had 200 staff. How many do you guys have? I mean,
are you saying because that'll bring it to 2?
No, I'm just saying. I know that at Fox, you're #1 by miles in cable, and you have these very nimble teams of people, 200 people, and all they do all day is prepare anti-Trump jokes. So whenever I watch Colbert, which was not a lot, whenever I did, endless sneering, mocking, Trump bashing. You know what? It's just boring. And so many of those late night guys, Kimmel does the same. You know, Seth Meyers does the same. John Oliver does the same. It's a one-trick pony. Trump bashing, Trump bashing, Trump bashing. And what happened is, in the election, America went, you know what? We quite like Trump. So we're going to vote him back in because we're sick of you whiny liberals. And by the way, I used to identify as a liberal. I'm sorry. I apologize for my shameful previous...
We'll take the apology.
I have nothing in common with the woke left liberal world at all. And they've got their comeuppance. He won't be the only one that goes. Right. Because actually more people are now gravitating, modesty apart, to shows like mine on YouTube. We get millions and millions of views because people want to see uncensored, unfiltered comment, the kind they get here around this sofa. They don't want to see a one-trick, whiny pony telling everyone all the time the guy they voted for is terrible. They don't agree.
Actually, I might tune in to see a pony that whines.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I used to judge America's Got Talent, and we used to get whiny ponies. And they were quite entertaining.
I mean, sometimes it can rate. Yeah. So, Cheryl, talk to me about the financial decision, though, because as actually Piers is pointing out, some of these shows have gone to 4 days a week, and that didn't just happen. So there has to be something that's being looked at in late-night television where corporations, these big TV networks, are saying, I don't know if it makes financial sense for 5 live nights.
It didn't. And his operating budget, his annual operating budget was $100 million. And then he was losing Paramount Global $40 million to the point. So when they said this is a financial decision, it absolutely was, especially when the numbers aren't there. But this is also happening in other parts of Hollywood. Look at the ratings for the Oscars, for the Emmys. Those have been dropping year over year. And these are very expensive programs to put on. And a lot of times they get political. And with Stephen Colbert, you know, the people that he was booking and these people that were just a bunch of Trump haters, you're not in step with America. Thank you, Jay Leno, for pointing that out. He's right. I agree with him. You're out of step with the country. And if they're not going to watch, you're not going to make money, and they're going to let you go. And they did.
That New York Post report, you see that about the guests? You had one Republican guest in 3 years and like 200 Democrats. I mean, it's absolutely insane. It's like you wouldn't get that in North Korea.
And Piers, to your point, I think what you said about he's not saying anything different than any of the other guys are saying in late night TV outside of Greg, obviously. But that's what makes these excuses about, oh, this is a violation of the First Amendment so laughable, because he's not saying anything that's dangerous to say on TV. You even look at Media Research Center in the first 100 days of the Trump administration, 92% of the media coverage was negative. Nothing he is saying is brave. It aligns with the rest of these people in the media. Also, for the people protesting, were you just asleep during the Biden administration were actual censorship-invited lawsuits like Missouri versus Biden, or you had Jen Psaki admitting that they were flagging problematic posts, or you had Mark Zuckerberg who testified to Congress that the Biden administration did indeed pressure him to stifle the Hunter Biden laptop story, as well as things during COVID. So, you know, it's like, it's all a lie. And it was like a pathetic protest, like 20 people. They were sitting, they weren't even energized enough to stand.
Aw, I mean, maybe
If you're going to protest, do it right.
I mean, you got to feed folk, you know? I mean, maybe they were hungry. Emily.
Well, isn't the whole point only 20 people showed up? Because the viewership was so abysmal. Who would expect a huge crowd walking down Fifth Avenue for a show that people had voted for with their remote, sending the strongest message of all, which is that no thank you. And the fact that that show can land in 300 million different households without having to be paid and still had those abysmal ratings just goes to show how low the bar was to even get one pair of eyes on it. People didn't want to watch those late night therapy sessions, the ponies whining, the same note being struck.
I'm going to do a
over
show
and
about
over
ponies whining.
Yeah, and I'm going to watch it.
I really do think
I
the
wanna
whining
see what
ponies.
that looks like.
I'd watch it.
Ponies.
You've got to give everyone credit, though, for mentioning this on the show.
100%.
I think Harris is the brainchild of the...
I'm ready to go. You know, the one thing that I did think about this, though, the staff, everybody else who goes away with him, I still think the network doesn't leave him on until next May of 2020.
Well, have you seen what he's doing now? Now he's hammering them every day.
Exactly.
Right? And he's doing it deliberately. He wants them now to fire him. He'll become a martyr.
Write that check.
And that's it. And that's fine. You could be a martyr. But honestly, you have brought this on yourself. Who's number one in late night? And I hate to admit this because it'll make his head even bigger, Greg Gutfeld. And why? Because he teases everybody, a bit like Leno used to do, a bit like Johnny Carson used to do.
And he's funny.
Nobody knew how Johnny Carson ever voted. And he was the most popular host in late night in American history. There's a message there. Just tease everybody.
And be funny. All right, we'll
Yes.
move.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.